Let's talk about the conjugations of verbs that are found in narrative contexts. Verbs in the narrative past, where you have a sequence of events. The past is most often expressed by what is sometimes called the Waw-Consecutive Imperfect, or just the Waw-Consecutive, as we will see in accordance. For more explanation of this, see Walker-Jones, page 50. It is usually formed by adding a vav to the beginning of the word with a patach underneath and a doubling of the following consonant. That's sort of the standard formation. There are occasions when the vowel might change or the following consonant might not be doubled for some reason, but accordance will tell you when it is a vav consecutive. It is translated as a past tense. This is one of the times when you can really count on this. We see an example here from Judges 4:6, where we have two verbs that look like imperfects, but they have this vav patach dagesh in front, and they are this vav consecutive form. So she sent and she called to Barak, son of Abinoam. Okay, so this is, a sequence, one event after another. Another example here from Exodus 3:1. He drove the flock behind the wilderness. Okay, and there are events that happen in front of this. There are events that happen after. But the vav consecutive narrates the sequence of events. Now they have a vav in front, but you do not always have to translate it. It can get a little stilted if you translate it and all the time. Now sometimes it will appear after a perfect, and we said that the perfect is quite often used for the past tense. And the idea here is that some grammarians think that, well, the perfect is starting the sequence and then the vav is converting it. Other people disagree with this. And part of the reason is that most of the time, even at the beginning of a book of the Bible, the vav consecutive imperfect occurs without an initial perfect, thus leading many to think it is an entirely separate conjugation. But we have an example here where actually this does work. So you have Moses and Aaron did, past tense with the perfect, all these wonders before Pharaoh. And then you have the vav consecutive imperfect. But Adonai hardened the heart of Pharaoh, or Pharaoh's heart. Okay, so that's just one example where you do find perfect plus imperfect. In a narrative of future events, the perfect with a vav will often take on a future tense. So we have here, you will return to Yahweh your God. It is a perfect verb with a vav on the front, and it's the normal formation of the vav, but it has a future sense because it's talking about future narrative. Or in this example, and it will be on that day, I will call my servant. Okay, it's a perfect form, but with a vav, it has a sense of the future. So just be aware of it, that these are some things that happen within the context of Hebrew narrative. I would like you to be aware of how the vav consecutive imperfect and the vav consecutive perfect appear in accordance. because they are not marked similarly. For example, here you have a Waw-Consecutive Imperfect, but notice that the instant details shows Waw-Consecutive third masculine plural. Okay, so it just refers to it as the Waw-Consecutive. And if you searched for an imperfect plus the Waw, you wouldn't necessarily find these particular forms. Okay. On the other hand, if you look at the Waw-Consecutive Perfect, notice that it says call perfect, and then it has consecutive at the end. So that is how it appears in accordance. And this reflects some of the difficulty or discussion about how to really classify these verbs, but you don't really need to worry about that.